Today's story takes place in Nantou County, Puli Township, Taiwan. The Liu family, spanning 3 generations, all live together and run a tofu business. Many snack shops in the town and surrounding areas rely on the Liu family's tofu supply. Over the past 50 years, the Liu family has built a solid reputation for quality, and their business has thrived as a result. However, one day, the family began to face a series of tragedies that led to their downfall within just a few months. Who did they offend? Why did they encounter such deadly misfortunes? Let's go back to the summer of 2009 to uncover the details. In July 2009, an insurance company sales representative rushed to the police station. He reported to the police that his company suspected a client of attempting insurance fraud and requested an investigation into the suspect. The reported individual was Lin Yuru, 27 years old, the daughter-in-law of the Liu family, a well-known tofu supplier in Puli Township. 2 months earlier, Lin Yuru's mother-in-law had passed away. Before her death, Lin Yuru had taken out an insurance policy for her. By August, the insurance compensation procedures were completed. The sales representative went to the Liu family's home to deliver millions in insurance compensation. However, when he arrived, he found that Lin Yuru was not at home. What struck him as odd was that the Liu family was holding a funeral for another deceased member, Lin Yuru's husband, Liu Yuhang, 28 years old. The insurance agent found it extremely suspicious that the Liu family had lost 2 members within such a short period. He reported this anomaly to his company. After internal discussions, the insurance company decided this situation was far from normal. They temporarily suspended the insurance payout and reported the matter to the police. After receiving the report, the police immediately launched an investigation into Lin Yuru's insurance claims from October 2008 and May 2009. Lin Yuru had successively taken out insurance policies for her biological mother, Lin Ho Yueyun, her mother-in-law, Zheng Huisheng, and her husband, Liu Yuhang. Lin Yuru was the beneficiary of all the policies, with a total insurance value of 20.4 million TWD, approximately $620,000 USD. At present, all 3 individuals have passed away. Lin Yuru's mother, Lin Ho Yueyun, died in November 2008 from an accident where she fell down the stairs at home. The insurance payout of 5.05 million TWD was transferred to Lin Yuru's account. Then, her mother-in-law, Zheng Huisheng, died on May 28, 2009, at the age of 47. Liu Yuhang also died on July 20th of the same year. The cause of death for both was determined to be acute myocardial infarction. Given the circumstances, the police suspected Lin Yuru of insurance fraud. In fact, the police had recently taken an interest in the Liu family because there were rumors that the family's feng shui was problematic, leading to 2 deaths within such a short period. According to the investigation, Liu Yuhang had shown athletic talent from a young age. In middle school, he was a member of the school's track team. By high school, he demonstrated a talent for badminton and was considered a key player to be nurtured. He was always in excellent physical health. His mother, Zheng Huisheng, also maintained good health. Their sudden deaths shocked everyone. Local customs dictate that from the time of death to cremation, the entire process usually lasts more than 10 days. However, Zheng Huisheng was cremated just 3 days after her death by her daughter-in-law, Lin Yuru. With this information, the police notified the funeral home to halt the cremation of Liu Yuhang's body. They then went to Puli Hospital in Nantou County to investigate Liu Yuhang's medical records. They discovered that on June 25, 2009, and July 17, 2009, Liu Yuhang had been taken to the hospital by his wife, Lin Yuru, for gastrointestinal discomfort. He died shortly after his second hospitalization. The police interviewed several nurses who were on duty those days. Nurse A reported that around 5:40 p.m. on July 17th, Liu Yuhang exhibited symptoms of dizziness, diarrhea, and general weakness. He was taken to the emergency room by his wife, Lin Yuru. On July 19th, at the family's request, Liu Yuhang was transferred to a private room and began to recover. However, around 11:30 p.m. that night, Nurse A noticed his face was pale His wife, Lin Yuru, was nowhere to be found, so she reported this to the head nurse. The head nurse rushed to the room and found Liu Yuhang had stopped breathing. She immediately performed CPR and moved him to the emergency room. By 2 a.m., Liu Yuhang was pronounced dead. Another nurse, Nurse B, reported that on June 25th, he was on duty when Liu Yuhang was brought in by his wife around 1 a.m. Liu Yuhang was vomiting, experiencing diarrhea, dizziness, and appeared lethargic. The doctor initially diagnosed gastrointestinal disorders. At 2 a.m., Nurse B administered an IV. At 3:40 a.m. during rounds, Nurse B noticed something unusual about the IV bag. The solution appeared cloudy and orange, whereas it should have been clear. At this time, Liu Yuhang seemed to be feeling better. Nurse B reported this to the doctor and replaced the IV bag and needle for safety. He stored the cloudy IV bag in a cooler near the nurse's station for monitoring. An hour later, Lin Yuru returned and angrily questioned Nurse B about why the IV bag had been changed. Nurse B explained that there was an issue with the bag. Lin Yuru insisted the hospital was responsible for the problem and threatened to escalate the matter. Nurse B chose not to argue with her. However, around 5:30 a.m., another suspicious incident occurred. Nurse B noticed Lin Yuru acting strangely with her back to the nurse's station, seemingly doing something. On closer inspection, he saw that Lin Yuru was holding a syringe and attempting to inject something into the hanging IV bag. Nurse B immediately intervened and asked what she was doing. Lin Yuru claimed she was trying to clear a blockage in the IV drip. Nurse B found this explanation odd and advised her to report such issues to the nurse before walking away. When the police asked Nurse B why he didn't report Lin Yuru's suspicious behavior at the time, he explained that since the IV bag had already been replaced, he didn't see a need to escalate the situation. He didn't want to create conflicts between nurses and patients and thought it best to avoid trouble. Nurse B handed over the replaced IV bag to the police for examination. Soon after, the autopsy results for Liu Yuhang were released. High levels of alcohol and antidepressants were found in his blood. The cause of death was determined to be respiratory failure due to poisoning. These toxic substances were present in the replaced IV bag. Lin Yuru, 27 years old, was born in 1982 in Kaohsiung City. She has an older brother and 2 older sisters, making her the youngest in the family. The Lin family worked in fruit farming. When Lin Yuru was in vocational high school, her father passed away, and the family's financial situation became difficult. Her 2 older siblings started working to support the family. After graduating from vocational high school, Lin Yuru began job hunting and quickly secured a job at a bar thanks to her good looks, eventually earning a decent income. However, at some point, she fell into gambling and squandered nearly all her assets. Even after losing all her money, she didn't stop. In 2001, at 19 years old, Lin Yuru met Liu Yuhang, who was a year older than her and still in school. Liu Yuhang was generous and free-spirited. Gradually, they developed a romantic relationship and started living together. Lin Yuru enticed Liu Yuhang into gambling. They ended up spending all their money and accumulating a lot of debt. Liu Yuhang's friends noticed a significant change in him after meeting Lin Yuru. He started skipping classes, stopped practicing badminton, frequently argued with his family, but was always obedient to his girlfriend and determined to marry her. Liu Yuhang's parents were furious about his behavior. They cut off his financial support and demanded he break up with Lin Yuru. Despite the family's disapproval, the couple did not break up. Lin Yuru told her close friends that she was determined to marry Liu Yuhang, so she actively tried to get pregnant, wanting to have a child for the Liu family. However, after 2 pregnancies, when she found out the babies were not boys, she terminated them. In 2006, at the age of 24, Lin Yuru became pregnant with a baby boy. Because of the child, the Liu family finally agreed to let her marry Liu Yuhang. Since Liu Yuhang's father was diagnosed with liver disease and couldn't manage the family business, he handed over the tofu business to the couple and paid off most of their debts. From then on, the couple enjoyed a brief period of stability. They learned how to make tofu and Lin Yuru even introduced a new stinky tofu dish that received much praise for a while. Life seemed to be back on track, but Lin Yuru soon fell back into gambling. She became deeply engrossed in it, neglecting the family business. When she did make tofu, it was half-heartedly, and the quality declined while prices skyrocketed. They often failed to deliver orders on time to their partner stores. Among their many customers, Mr. Hu was a major one, accounting for 1/3 of their total sales. Mr. Hu's restaurant had been buying tofu from the Liu family since his father's time, maintaining a harmonious relationship for 50 years. However, since Liu Yuhang and Lin Yuru took over the business, Mr. Hu's restaurant frequently faced disruptions due to their negligence. Due to their long-standing relationship, Mr. Hu visited the Liu family to gently discuss the issues with the elders. Unexpectedly, Lin Yuru, who was present, immediately turned her back and ignored him. Liu Yuhang also appeared indifferent. Seeing their attitude, Mr. Hu decided to end the 50-year cooperation and no longer buy tofu from the Liu family. This news quickly spread in the business community. After Mr. Hu ceased cooperation, other stores followed suit, and the Liu family's business took a nosedive. Seeing the family enterprise on the brink of collapse, the grandfather personally took his grandson and granddaughter-in-law to Mr. Hu's house to apologize. Despite the elders' efforts, Mr. Hu remained unmoved, believing that the young couple lacked sincerity and steadfastly refused to resume cooperation. Not long after, Lin Yuru opened a stinky tofu shop right next to Mr. Hu's restaurant, deliberately undercutting his prices, and even had people push carts advertising Liu family tofu back and forth in front of Mr. Hu's restaurant. Mr. Hu realized they were trying to retaliate, but chose to endure it, believing they wouldn't last long. Sometime later, the Liu family's tofu shop finally had to close down due to financial losses. Mr. Hu thought the ordeal was over, but on the morning of August 16, 2008, at around 4 a.m., his restaurant unexpectedly caught fire. Mr. Hu was not at the restaurant at the time. Neighbors noticed the fire and quickly alerted him. Thanks to timely firefighting efforts, there were no casualties. However, Mr. Hu suffered severe property damage, with the entire restaurant being destroyed. Afterwards, someone told Mr. Hu that they had seen Lin Yuru wearing a coat and standing in front of the restaurant at the time of the fire, looking very suspicious. Hearing this, Mr. Hu suspected Lin Yuru of arson and reported her to the police. The police brought Lin Yuru in for questioning, but she denied any involvement, claiming she was just passing by. Although Lin Yuru was a suspect, the lack of concrete evidence caused the case to go cold. Mr. Hu had no choice but to close the restaurant for repairs. Many people believed that Lin Yuru was the arsonist. Neighbors of the Liu family did not think highly of her either. They felt that since she had joined the family, the Lius had not had a single peaceful day. After her marriage, Liu Yuhang's father died of liver disease. Then, the family business declined, and both her mother-in-law and husband passed away one after the other. The police discovered that Lin Yuru had not only taken out insurance policies for her biological mother, mother-in-law, and husband, but had also tried to insure her 4-year-old son and her sister-in-law, Liu Yiteng. However, for various reasons, the insurance companies did not approve those applications. Later, Lin Yuru's biological mother also died in a household accident in 2008. On December 17th, the police officially arrested Lin Yuru. At her home, they found harmful substances that were analyzed. Initially, Lin Yuru only admitted to killing her husband. However, police investigations revealed that her mother-in-law, Zheng Huisheng, had high levels of sleeping pills in her blood before her death. Injecting these substances intravenously could lead to a heart attack. Faced with mounting evidence, Lin Yuru finally confessed that she had poisoned her mother-in-law to pay off gambling debts she had chosen to kill for insurance fraud. On the night of May 27, 2009, she laced her mother-in-law's food with drugs. Later that night, when Zheng Huisheng felt unwell and was taken to the hospital, Lin Yuru and her husband took turns caring for her. At 4 a.m. during her shift, Lin Yuru injected a mixture of drugs into her mother-in-law's IV drip when no one was watching. After Zheng Huisheng stopped breathing in her hospital bed, Lin Yuru pretended to call for help. Her plan succeeded, and no one suspected anything. Liu Yuhang's death followed a similar pattern. Lin Yuru invited her husband and some friends over for dinner. She spiked his drink with drugs when no one was looking. After drinking, Liu Yuhang felt ill and was taken to the hospital. However, when a nurse caught her acting suspiciously, Lin Yuru panicked and threw the syringe with the poison into the trash, foiling that attempt. Nevertheless, during her second attempt, she insisted on moving her husband to a private room. Despite the nurse quickly noticing Liu Yuhang's critical condition, they could not save him. Police discovered through dashcam footage that on the day Lin Yuru's mother, Lin Huiyun, died, Lin Yuru had driven to her mother's house and left shortly after. Lin Yuru claimed she had only gone to talk with her mother, insisting that her mother's fall down the stairs was an accident. Despite her denials, the police gathered evidence. A friend of Lin Yuru revealed to the police some of her habits, stating that she was very fond of reading novels about gods and demons and believed in karma. The police used this information to play on her fears, telling her that if she had truly killed her mother and the truth wasn't revealed in this life, she would face retribution in the next. Hearing this, Lin Yuru became increasingly frightened, her mental state deteriorated, and she eventually confessed to what happened the day her mother died. Due to her debts, Lin Yuru had borrowed 500,000 TWD, approximately 15,400 USD, from her brother, but still couldn't repay it. Her brother repeatedly demanded repayment. The night before the incident, Lin Yuru had a heated argument with her husband, Liu Yuhang, over her debts. Liu Yuhang refused to ask his family for more money. Feeling unsupported, Lin Yuru went to her mother's house that afternoon to ask for help, hoping her mother could convince her brother to give her more time. However, she secretly carried a stun gun in case she needed to use force. Her mother, Lin Huiyun, scolded her for gambling away the family's savings and borrowing money everywhere. Despite Lin Yuru's pleas, her mother refused to help. The argument escalated in the upstairs room. Unable to bear it anymore, Lin Huiyun tried to leave. As she stepped onto the stairs, Lin Yuru lost control and pushed her mother hard. Lin Huiyun lost her balance, fell down the stairs, and was knocked unconscious. Seeing her mother lying still, Lin Yuru didn't call for help. Instead, she repositioned her mother's body from face down to face up, then returned to the Liu family home. On the way back, she disposed of the unused stun gun in a trash can. At 3:00 p.m., Lin Huiyun's son returned home and found her unconscious at the bottom of the stairs. He immediately called for an ambulance, but it was too late. Lin Huiyun had died from a traumatic brain injury. Everyone believed it was an accident. Lin Yuru subsequently received her mother's insurance payout, which she used to pay off her debts, including those owed to her brother. However, she couldn't escape her gambling addiction and soon lost all her money again, sinking back into debt. This drove her to commit further crimes. Besides admitting to 3 murders, Lin Yuru also confessed to setting fire to Mr. Hu's restaurant. She harbored a grudge against Mr. Hu for encouraging other shopkeepers to stop buying tofu from the Liu family. At around 4 a.m., she wore a raincoat to disguise herself, poured cooking oil around Mr. Hu's restaurant, and set it on fire. Although she was seen leaving the scene, she initially denied any involvement, and no one could prove her guilt. After her arrest, Lin Yuru remained calm and showed no remorse. The news spread rapidly, causing immense grief and shock within the Liu family. In interviews with reporters, they couldn't hold back their tears, lamenting that allowing Lin Yuru to marry Liu Yuhang was the biggest mistake of their lives. They had always disapproved of her, seeing her job at a bar as disreputable and her gambling habit as destructive. The Liu family had strongly opposed the relationship and were shocked when Lin Yuru and Liu Yuhang returned one day with a newborn son, forcing them to accept the marriage. The Lin family was equally devastated upon learning that Lin Huiyun's death was not an accident. They were filled with sorrow and anger, especially Lin Yuru's brother, who realized that the money he received was at the cost of his mother's life. Neighbors and friends of the Liu family were stunned, knowing how well the family treated their daughter-in-law. They couldn't comprehend why Lin Yuru would murder those closest to her. The case shocked the public, and media outlets compared Lin Yuru to a black widow spider, calling her cruel and ruthless. People overwhelmingly called for the death penalty for Lin Yuru. A year after the incident, the trial of Lin Yuru was held at the Nantou District Court. Lin Yuru was charged with murder. During the trial, she unexpectedly changed her testimony, admitting only to the murder of her husband, Liu Yuhang. She claimed that her previous confessions to the murders of her mother and mother-in-law were coerced. She insisted that her mother's death was purely an accident, and that her mother-in-law's death was not intentional. She stated that she had been forced and manipulated by her husband, Liu Yuhang, who had planned the insurance fraud because he needed a large sum of money for a business investment. Lin Yuru claimed that she was often abused by her husband and that her family was too afraid to resist, forcing her to inject her mother-in-law, Zheng Huisheng, with poison. She then used a similar method to retaliate against her husband. It was clear to everyone that Lin Yuru's change in testimony was an attempt to receive a lighter sentence. During the legal battle, her defense attorney presented an IQ test report indicating that Lin Yuru had an IQ of 57, classifying her as mildly intellectually disabled. Another psychiatric evaluation report indicated that she suffered from severe depression, sleep disorders, and was easily agitated. However, the police quickly dismissed this argument with relevant evidence, pointing out that Lin Yuru had graduated from vocational high school. Furthermore, her ability to manage the Liu family's tofu business and plan her husband's murder suggested that her intelligence was not below average. Additionally, although there were records of her purchasing antidepressants, Lin Yuru did not exhibit any related symptoms. The diagnosis of her depression remained questionable. The case went through several trials. In May 2011, the Nantou District Court found Lin Yuru guilty of murder and sentenced her to death. She appealed to a higher court. In August 2012, the Taiwan High Court commuted her sentence to life imprisonment. A year later, the Supreme Court reinstated the death sentence, concluding that her crimes were particularly heinous and that her actions were extremely cruel. The court ruled that there was no clear evidence indicating that her intelligence was significantly lower than average, thus upholding the death penalty. With this decision, the case was officially closed. There were rumors that Lin Yuru's only request in prison was to see her son. However, in reality, her son had been adopted by another family and could no longer visit her. Lin Yuru would spend the rest of her life in solitude. As of now, Taiwan has 37 death row inmates awaiting execution, with Lin Yuru being the only female among them. Lin Yuru's story serves as a profound warning about greed, moral decay, and the terrible consequences it can bring. Her tale illustrates that true happiness does not come from wealth and material possessions, but from living a meaningful, kind, and peaceful life. This concludes today's video. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.